Here we have a math Olympiad question. That is, we have to solve for x in this equation. Okay, so in my first step, I am writing the first term as it is. That is 2 times 10 to the x power. And we can write this 100 as 10 square whole to the power. We can write this exponent. And 1000 over here can be written as 10 to the third power. And we have exponent x over here. That should be taken here. Okay, here in my next step, 2 times 10 to the x power negative. So whenever we have two exponents like this, we can switch the exponents. So then I'll be getting 10 to the x power whole square. The same thing I can do over here. That is, I can switch the two exponents 3 and x. Then I'll be getting 10 to the x power whole to the power 3. So here I have 10 to the x power. Here I have 10 to the x power. Here I have 10 to the x power. So to make the solving process of this equation easier, I'm going to assign a new variable for this stuff. So let me assign that is, let y equals to 10 to the x power. So here in this equation, each 10 to the x power can be replaced by y. Then I'll be getting 2 times y equal negative. So here y, then we have exponent 2. So it will become y square equals to y to the third power on the right side. Here, these two terms have the common divisor y. So y can be factored out. Then I'll be getting 2 negative y inside the parenthesis equals to y to the third power. So both the stuff in this equation have the common divisor y. So I divide both sides by y. So this y will cancel out. So y will cancel, then this exponent will become 2. So I get 2 negative y equals to y square. So I can write this one as a quadratic equation in standard form. That is ax square positive bx positive c equals to 0. So that is, if I write the quadratic equation in standard form, I'll be getting y square positive y negative 2 equals to 0. Okay, let's solve this quadratic equation. So the coefficient of y square is 1. So let's take the constant term negative 2. Now I have to get two factors for negative 2 so that the product is equal to negative 2 and the sum of the two factors is equal to the coefficient of y, which is positive 1. So I think positive 2 negative 1 will work. When I multiply these two factors, positive 2 and negative 1, that is equal to negative 2. When I add them, I'm getting positive 1, which is a coefficient of y. Okay, even from these two factors, I can get the values of y. So y equals to, I have to change the sign of these two factors. So y equals to negative 2 or y equals to positive 1. Okay, so y was a variable taken by us. It can be replaced by the original stuff 10 to the x power. So I'm getting 10 to the x power equals to negative 2. Here y can be replaced by 10 to the x power equals to 1. Okay, here whether x is positive or negative, whatever value we take for x, so this value can never be a negative value, because if I take x is equal to 1, it will become 10 or 2 or 3, always it's positive. Even if I take negative exponent for x, or negative 1 or negative 2, for example, if I take x is equal to negative 1, it will become 1 over 10, still it's positive. So for any value of x, the value of this 10 to the x power will be positive. But here we have negative value on the right side, so we can reject. So this case, we can consider only this one. So here 10 to the x power is equal to 1. So 10 has to be raised to what power so that it is equal to 1? It's very simple. 10 has to be raised to the 0th power so that it results 1. So what value should I plug in for x over here so that it is equal to 1? So I have to plug in 0 for x so that 10 to the 0th power will be equal to 1. So finally the value of x equals to 0.